Zombies. We all know them, we all love them, or at least I do. When most people think of zombies, they imagine a grotesque, shambling horrors that media typically portrays. While this certainly embodies a zombie, it doesn't necessarily reflect what a zombie would be like in real life. Lucky for you, I'm here to set the record straight with 8 facts about zombies if they existed in real life. Number 1. Zombies aren't really people anymore. Scientifically speaking, the brain breaks down after about 10 to 15 minutes without oxygen. Now, the zombie virus is generally accepted to reactivate the more animalistic part of the brain that's responsible for instinctual responses. However, there's almost a 100% chance that the rest of the brain has degraded enough that all of the memories and things that made you human are long gone and unrecoverable. Following this line of reasoning, the only thing we are left with is a mobile bag of rotting meat that only vaguely resembles the person you once knew. What this means is that you shouldn't feel bad about smacking Granny in the face with a baseball bat because she's not Granny anymore. She's just a flesh bag that looks like Granny. Number 2. Zombies aren't immortal. Now, zombies don't have a metabolism and have no real needs as far as survival goes. So could they live forever, provided of course I don't bash it in the skull with a baseball bat first? Well, dead things rot, right? Zombies are dead, so they're going to continuously decompose with every minute they exist. Zombies will have a very real life expectancy, and it won't be all that long. For one, their bodies will decompose quickly to a point where muscle tissue isn't viable for movement. At this point, the zombie's body would simply fall apart. Joints would go first, which would severely hinder zombie movement. Furthermore, zombies don't heal or regenerate from their wounds. Small things like bumping into a wall or tripping over a curb would very quickly add up and leave the zombie's body uselessly damaged. All of this would mean is that you'd have a ton of crawling zombies or a ton of handicapped zombies, but you'd see the number of zombies that were actually able to chase you going down very dramatically, very quickly. Number 3. Zombies would move slower in the cold. Zombies have no pumping blood and no bodily processes like metabolism. Thus, they're endothermic, or they absorb heat rather than emit it like living humans do. What this means is that they will be affected by cold much quicker than humans are. As the zombie's cells contracted and froze due to the cold, the zombie would move much slower, to the point where they would be much less of a threat to living humans. As a side note, this makes living in a colder environment a plus during a zombie apocalypse because the zombies would be slower and easier to kill and avoid. Number 4. Zombies would swell in the heat. As heat increases, so does the rate of decomposition. Zombies will break down faster in the heat. Also, during decomposition, the abdomen tends to swell due to a buildup of gases like methane. The now bloated zombies will have a harder time moving around. As the gas builds up, the pressure will increase inside of the zombie until it literally pops like an overinflated balloon. Number 5. Zombies are relatively defenseless when they are alone. In a pack, sure, zombies can be a tough adversary, but without the aid of their comrades, they quickly turn from predator to prey. A single zombie can be dealt with quickly by humans. Additionally, with their limited defenses, zombies would most likely become prey to other living predatory animals. Wild dogs, which would become a huge problem in an apocalypse, would quickly realize that lone zombies were an easy target for a quick meal. Furthermore, places like Africa, where the number of dangerous animals are high, would have a pretty big natural defense against invading zombies. After all, who would win, a hippo or 10 zombies? My bet's on the hippo, because those things are really nasty. Number 6. Spreading disease through biting is very ineffective. In terms of all the different ways to spread a virus, biting has to be one of the least effective, especially when the host of the virus is a slow, clumsy bag of rotting meat. Now, biting could be effective when there is a large number of zombies coming in from different directions, and I would imagine that zombies would be extra lethal in confined areas or high-density areas like cities. Other than that, zombies may have a hard time catching their prey because of how slow they are. In comparison, if the virus were airborne or waterborne, humanity would have a much bigger problem on our hands. Number 7. Zombies are uncoordinated. By all accounts, zombies are very uncoordinated, often stumbling, tripping, or falling in the most embarrassing ways. Taking this into consideration, have you thought about what happens in the case of a zombie versus a curb? Remembering that zombies don't feel pain, they don't even have a reason to learn to avoid the curb. Additionally, stairs would be a nightmare for a zombie to climb. They would essentially have to pile on top of the stairs and one another until they could crawl their way to the top. For these reasons, it would be awfully easy to create some distance between you and a zombie horde by climbing a fence or probably even climbing a really steep hill. The zombies won't be able to effectively chase you and they'll probably trip over anything. Number 8. Zombies can swim, sorta. A relatively solid strategy when dealing with zombies would be to go somewhere isolated, perhaps an island. Since there are less, if any, people there initially, zombies couldn't reach you, right? Well, wrong, sorta. Zombies can't swim, but during the rotting and putrefaction process, they release gases. Theoretically, the zombie would float, depending on how far along in the putrefaction process it is. It probably wouldn't know what to do while floating, but given enough zombies and enough time, there's a good chance that there will be a few zombies showing up at your island barbecue. There you go, guys. That is 8 facts about zombies if they existed in real life. See you next time.